don't demonize food. I listened to the podcast Fitness Stuff, or one of the episodes of Fitness Stuff for Normal People. One of the podcasters being a nutritionist who has struggled with an eating disorder, right? Anorexia and binging and all this horrible stuff. She talked about one of the number one things you can do is don't demonize any foods, right? So like brownies, pizza, we always say they're bad for you, Oreos, cookies, sweets, basically anything you can overindulge on. And she's saying, basically putting like a big X on it, demonizing it, saying we can't have it, makes it so that we want it more, and that when we do ultimately binge, right? If you go to your friend's house and they have cookies on their table and you're like, nah, dude, I can't have cookies. I haven't had cookies in my house for 6 months because I'm cutting, bro, because I'm trying to lose weight, bro. Like, the odds of you not eating those cookies are very, 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 very low. So number one, don't demonize food. Number two, she talked about having a bigger protein. My baby's crying. It's alright, she's fine. My wife's watching her. She talks about having just more protein. And instead of counting protein, counting calories, like weighing all your food, doing all this stuff, just making sure you have a designated protein source per meal, right? So if I'm having spaghetti and I usually just eat a giant bowl of spaghetti, well, instead of not doing that or cutting it off or doing whatever, okay, how about I add a giant helping of ground beef or a giant helping of chicken to that same meal? Because it'll fill me up more, it'll make us eat less in the long run. And then point three was eating at consistent times. I'm guilty of this one because when I do count my calories, which right now I'm shifting to kind of trying to be more consistent with having a protein source every meal, and I find myself very satiated by it. Because what I used to do is say, oh, well, I have 2,000 calories. I really want a pizza today, which means I have to starve myself the entire day so that I can get that pizza at the end of the day. And then you overeat, right? I don't get a good amount of protein because I'm not eating consistently. But if you eat like every 3-4 hours, you're not going to be that hungry, and you're not going to get to a point where you're like at a scale of 1 to 10 of hunger, you're at a 10. You never want to be at a 10. So yeah, this was a quick one. Great podcast, by the way. Fitness stuff for normal people. Really good stuff. I'm going to try protein source with every meal. I'm going to stop worrying about my physique to an extent, right? I want to normalize my relationship with food, because when I was in high school, I would eat till I puked, because I liked the feeling of feeling full. Like, the feeling of feeling full comforted me. If I was having a hard day at school, or whatever it was, my home life wasn't the best, like emotionally, and so I would eat until I got a really full belly, and I'm like, dang, that feels good, that helps me feel comforted. So I think my main goal is to kind of normalize my relationship with lots of foods. There are no bad foods, which it's kind of hard, because you say when you say there's no bad foods, it's like, well, there's no good foods. But I think there are some foods you should eat in moderation, and there are some foods that you don't, that the amounts are different, right? So I'm going to try to stop demonizing that. Buy some Oreos. Buy like a container of Oreos. Eat a cookie every other day. Eat a cookie every day. And then the idea is that once that becomes normal, then I'm not going to binge and have the whole case with a liter of milk, which is really good, by the way. You're just like, I want to pop it down, eat some Oreos. Oh, it's a liter of milk. Yeah. All right, bye.